This is the thing. Who you choose to hang around with, who you choose to have in your posse is exactly who you become. Choose your posse wisely. I'm here to tell you that putting yourself first is not selfish, it's revolutionary. Welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast, empowering women to light their lives on fire through Ayurveda, yoga, spirituality, and fitness. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Satyavani, and I'm here along with my partner, Prajna Madhavi, and we want to welcome you to the Trainerize app, our branded app. This app has two beautiful functions that we want to share with you to get your health moving in a woman warrior direction.
So the first component is the fitness workout side, which is fabulous. With this app, trainers can give you a personalized experience based on your fitness goals, our dosha assessment, and fitness level. The app has phenomenal access to videos for each exercise so that there is very little confusion. There's also messaging capabilities so that trainers can continually keep in contact with you as you move further into your fitness journey.
The second component is the nutrition piece, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. After the initial assessment is taken, trainers can align your doshic diet to your specific exercise regimen, which means that eating more of what you need and less of what you don't. The recipes are then posted in the app where you can choose meals based on time, ingredients, and taste. And you can always refresh the menu if needed because you prefer something different.
So with these two components, along with our Ayurvedic assessment, we'll give you a unique and individualized experience that you most likely cannot find anywhere else.
I would agree with that. Mm-hmm. By using our personalized app, you'll gain knowledge of what your body needs and be on the road to becoming your best and brightest self. Welcome to our app. Jai Bhagwan, Woman Warriors, and welcome to the Woman Warrior Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Satyavani. And not only do I have my fabulous co-host here,
Prajna Madhavi,
but
hello,
you
everyone.
are going to introduce our guest.
Okay, well, we have today with us Ulasini Shakti, yes, a.k.a. Christine Soza, for those of you
She
who
has
know
many
her.
names.
Yes, many names. So glad that you're here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. So excited to be here.
So great. Folks, as I told Praj today, I am really fired up right now. So there's a lot that's going to come out of this podcast today. So just to recap our journey, we have been talking about the yamas and the niyamas as our framework this year. Every year, as you know, we have a theme. And this year, it's the yamas and the niyamas in light of the Yoga Sutra 1.14, which is practice becomes firmly grounded when done over a long period of time without break in all earnestness. So this year, it is all about discipline and focus. And we're looking at each of the yamas and the niyamas for twice each of our episodes. One is talking about each of them, applying it to modern day, and then another podcast kind of comes up with remedies or suggestions on.
Today it's kind of how is it abused or how is it?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So today we are talking about the yama Asteya. And Asteya translates from Sanskrit to mean non-stealing. And we're going to talk about theft today. And it's not just about theft in terms of taking something that doesn't belong to you. It's not like I stole a car or I stole, something from somebody, et cetera. But rather, it's sort of a larger trajectory of how we steal from ourselves and from others on a regular basis. And we actually, part of the reason why we have Ms. Soza here today is well, you know what, why don't you tell us just a snippet about your background, and then I'm going to apply that to give the listeners an idea of how we're going to weave that into Asteya today.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
You're fabulous.
With these cool people. They're so cool. So cool. So, so I have a nursing background. I've been a nurse for 35 years, and I actually, through a process of losing all of my loved ones in a short amount of time, I came to the knowing, which had been a calling for many years previous, being a death doula. So I'm actually a death doula, help support people at the end of life and walk that journey. And then I'm also a Reiki master, which has been this evolution of finding myself and helping to support people on their healing journey. Because I do believe we have healing that happens even until we take our last breath. Yeah, thanks.
I love that. So you're in for a treat because it's like, how does stealing and death come together? So this is going to be really cool. And part of the reason why we wanted to have you on this podcast, Christine, is because you are very, very unique in the world. Not only you're just one of the best humans that Praj and I know, but the work it is that you do as a death doula, and a lot of people might not know what that is, so we'll get into definition about that in a little bit. But part of the work that Christine does is very unique, especially here in the Treasure Valley, and she is making a tremendous impact on training more people in this science, this art, this healing, and it's really important for us as the Academy. Part of our mission is to empower women to light their lives on fire, and what you have done over the past 3 years is just something that we can't ignore and that we needed to highlight. And so we're going to bring some of these concepts together today. So folks, you are in for a good treat. We're talking about, a little bit of theft, a little bit of laziness, and we're also going to talk a little bit about life and death. So it's going to be a full spectrum podcast today. So thanks for joining us. But before we get started, we always have some announcements.
Yes.
So Praj, hook us up.
All right. So pretty short and sweet. We've got the AWP 2.0. That is coming up first weekend in April. So it's coming up very soon. Ulasini is going to be a part of that throughout the year. So that's another reason why we bring her into the fold, because again, we love her and love having her. So AWP 2.0, we have 7 women right now looking to get...
We have 5 more spots.
Yep, 5 more spots. Okay, so that is definitely coming up, and we are super excited. We've got new manual cover, we've got new manual, we've got new layout, exciting stuff. So then we have the GLP-1 program, which is on our Trainerize app. And
our website.
And our website, and our website. And so that is ready to go. So check that out. That is for women who are either, and you'll hear a little bit about this today, either not wanting to be on a GLP-1, trying to get off of a GLP-1, or thinking about going on a GLP-1. And this is food, programming, lifestyle, things that you can include in your journey, wherever you are on that journey. So be looking for that on our website as well. Trainerize, we have pretty much everything loaded on our Trainerize app. You can go to our website. If you want to do personal training with us through the Trainerize app, there are all of the categories, all of the options there, and you can just click, pay straight from the website, and you get loaded into our app. And our AWP 2.0 students are going to be in there as well, so we're going to get to
play around
with all of that. And then we also have DECA training. So Satyavani and I are getting ready for the season of DECA.
Which we still have to do our partner workout today. I know.
You have to remind me.
We were supposed to do it this morning, but something interfered.
Yeah. So our DECA training, and shout out to Grayson Kilgore Coaching and everything that he does. And he's got us working really hard. And we got to spend time with him last week to go over form and all the things. So we're excited for that.
It was great. Mm-hmm. I'm psyched for the season.
Yeah. Glad you are. I'm just kidding.
Literally, we're headed to Grace. She's like, all right, fine, let's get this over with. I'm like, wow, talk about enthusiasm here. Okay.
I enjoyed it.
We had a great time.
Yeah.
You did great.
Yeah.
It was fun. We're kicking ass. We're getting ready to make it happen.
Expectations low.
Listeners, don't listen to that. Okay. Okay. This is the thing. Praj is like, I'm going to keep the expectations really low so I can supersede them. And I'm like,
in my own mind,
right.
Because otherwise I stress out.
Stop.
Okay.
Okay.
Done stressing forever.
So, until in about an hour.
Yep.
So, okay.
Yep.
Good. Which leads us to our wellness check-in.
Yeah, wellness check-in.
Why don't you lead that?
Okay. Well, physically, feeling pretty good. No real major aches and pains. Shoulder still bothers me a little bit, but it's as long as I do what I'm supposed to do, it feels better. My knee is actually, again, thanks to Kilgore Coaching and some of the tips that he gave, which were just alignment stuff, that actually is feeling stronger and better as well.
Practicing the new walking.
Yep. Practicing even just, how I walk. And then also the band work and just making sure that I warm up. Let's see. Energetically, I have really worked on boycotting social media for the last couple of days. And just anytime that I feel like I need to get on it or have time to be on it, let's go outside. And it's easier when the weather is nice. And nice. My days are so much better when I stay off of it. And my energy is better. And I just feel better. Mm-hmm. So that's something that I've been working on. Mentally, emotionally, I had an experience just this morning that brought some things up that I was a little uncomfortable, but I witnessed kind of why I was uncomfortable and worked through it, and that was great. So mentally and emotionally working through that. Just an experience I had never been in teaching yoga before, and with a group of people that I wasn't used to teaching, and kind of just jumped in. I don't think I would have done that a couple years ago and just said, sure, I'll do it and get out of my comfort zone. And
so proud of you.
I did. And so it was a little uncomfortable at first. And then I was like, you know what? Just create the space that they need for this and you'll be fine. And it was great. Intuitively, I think that is leading me to get out of my comfort zone. My intuition of, okay, normally I would talk myself out of this, but I'm just going to do it anyway. So doing that intuition. And back to the energy. We had great energy with creating our LLC the other day. So that was super exciting.
Oh my God. It was so official and stuff.
It was awesome.
Thank you. No, it was a big moment.
Big deal.
It was a big moment. I was like, I cried a little bit.
Aww.
Yeah.
I did. I called up. I was like, oh my God, I'm so emotional.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yep.
Love it.
And she stuck with me. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
And then spiritually, being off the TikTok, culture, the Instagram, just getting outside more, that's my jam. Getting out in the garden, that's really where I feel more grounded, and that's really good for me. So this time of year is much easier to do that. So it's really nice. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's it.
Love it.
That's about it for me. So.
Yeah. How about you, girl?
Lucini.
Oh my gosh.
Physically.
So good. Physically, I feel great. I started cutting back on crap food and I miraculously feel better. And
what do you know?
I know. And but paying attention to and I'm sure we're going to talk about this, like what we ingest, right? And so thinking about what we take into our bodies, not just food, but, the things that you're talking about too, social media and the media. And, I think sometimes people think, you must have your head buried in the sand. And I think, no.
It's on purpose.
I'm creating my own reality. And that's been really, really, really powerful to just kind of step into having the awareness that having some kind of connection with the outside world is really important, but spiritually, emotionally, it all seems to be in alignment when I pay attention to that and paying attention to my body. So physically, I feel great. Spiritually, I feel really connected. I just taught a Reiki level 1 and 2 this weekend.
How did that go?
It's amazing. Just the most beautiful souls.
Just watching that transformation is amazing, right?
And the light goes on in their eyes, and I think when I first started doing Reiki for myself and for other people, I just wasn't sure. My analytical brain wanted to say, I've got to figure this out. Like, I've got to, I couldn't understand, energy. You can't see it. Can't see it, feel it, know it, or, it's intellectually, it was hard to understand. And now you can't convince me otherwise that we're energetic beings, spiritual beings having a human experience. It's kind of a side note. And so, things are going really good spiritually, emotionally, mentally. I'm in full alignment. It feels really good. Yeah, can't complain.
Really good. I want to be fully aligned.
So do I. That's why I go to Dr. Kelly Mix at Stork Spinal Chiropractic because, oh boy,
Yeah.
I love that. You know, I want to reflect back something to you. I remember when you and I first met, and I remember you came to my office when we had an office over on Orchard and Kootenai, and it was first for like Ayurvedic nutrition and all of that stuff, and then I convinced you to do AWP, and just I think about that moment when we first met and where you are now. It's like, oh my God, just incredible. It's like 4 or 5 years later, and just holy cow, what you've just like leapt forward in so many things. So it's such a testament to the work it is you're doing.
Well, the work that both of you are doing, I'm so grateful. And I remember that, you know, I was like, I don't even know what Ayurveda is. Right. And still, I feel like such a baby in all of this. These concepts are so new to me. And, but really what I was looking for was community. Yes. And I think that just a true testament of what AWP is building this beautiful community was a community I didn't even know was available, and finding beautiful people like yourselves. Like you inspire me and have taught me so much. So if you are on the fence about AWP, this new, what do you call it? 2.0. Like I would definitely think about doing it because it is, I didn't realize, I didn't fully understand what stepping into my power meant. Yes. And I'm a kick-ass woman, and I did not know that was even, that I didn't even know that was part of the package, right? All of these beautiful explorations of self and this unbecoming and then becoming. So thank you both. It's been a powerful journey.
Thank you. I'm not crying.
Yeah.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
No crying.
This, I love these check-ins, and part of the reason why we do these check-ins for listeners is, I think there are things that we all share that resonate with folks. And I think a lot of times people see others on a podcast and they're like, oh my God, they have their shit together. Like, no, we're just as fucked up as all y'all. Okay. So, but in the fight, you gotta be in the fight. You gotta be in the ring. And it's very easy, especially nowadays, to armchair quarterback. But to get yourself, on the field is a completely different thing. And that's why I learned so much, not only from listening to your check-ins, but even, just expressing my own. I'm like, wow, I articulated that. So hopefully the listeners that you guys, you understand the purpose. And, maybe you fast forward through this section, and that's completely fine. But it's real people experiencing real things. And we open that floor to people, especially so that they know that they're not alone. And, hey, maybe something that we say about our situation sparks something for you. Mm-hmm. And that's the important part of it. So physically, I have come to the understanding that I need to fuel my body more. Mm-hmm. There's a lot going out.
It needs to go straight to your hamstring.
And when I don't fuel my body, my right hamstring goes away. Yeah. But no, it was a good lesson. I have a recurring injury. And so now I'm just like, no, you got to get serious about this. You can't just be like, oh, the injury went away and then it comes back. And it's like, okay, what really, dial in, what's happening in that hamstring. And so fueling my body is one of them. Definitely getting some more assistance with the army of people that, we've created as part of our circle around it. So the latest person who's been added to that is Katie Duke, Dr. Katie Duke, over at her physical therapy office on State Street here in Boise. Physical Therapy Associates, I think that's what it's called. Katie, if I got it wrong, I'm sorry. And I don't know if it's Katie Duke or Katie Kilgore now. I'm not sure, but that'll be a question for Friday when I come and see you. But just had a great experience. She knows the body anatomically, understood movement patterns, had me go through just different types of movement patterns where I was just like, wow, I don't have any ankle mobility. So just some really cool discoveries as far as that's concerned. And then just working obviously with our massage therapist and then Dr. Kelly Mix, thank you, at Stork Spinal Chiropractic. Just the Nuka method with the adjustment of the atlas. Like I walked in, I'm like, things are bad. And she's just like, let's do the thing. And not a pop and crack chiropractor, but a very specific modality that you don't even think anything's happening. And then I get off the table, I'm like, woo, all right, things are good. So thank you, Dr. Kelly. You're awesome. So yes, it is never too late to learn about your body. It really isn't. And so it's been really fascinating. Energetically, I would say I am dialed in so much energetically. And like what you said, Ulasini or Christine, whatever you prefer for this podcast, Ulasini is her Acharya name for the record. Because you can't see it, but now, and I think I've always been energetically inclined, just being so energetically aware right now has been a game changer. Like right now, I am not even entertaining people or places that don't energetically align. Like nope. Just it doesn't even hit the tape, which is fantastic because I got to tell you, when you do that, there is so much freedom and space that comes from that. It's like you were saying, like I'm kind of creating my own reality. And what's interesting about that statement that I've been thinking a lot about is we're in the experience right now of the unfolding of a false reality that everybody thought was a reality. And so me creating my own reality, I actually think that's reality, you know? And if you couldn't follow along with that, that's okay. Don't worry about it. But we'll loop back because I want that also to be part of the conversation a little bit today. Mentally and emotionally, completely and utterly locked in. I spoke with my mom the other day, and she actually was officially diagnosed with Parkinson's. And, you know, she mentally, emotionally, you get news like that, and it was like, ooh, okay. And I actually saw it a completely different way. I was like, this is great. Now we know what the problem is. Now we can address it appropriately. So like, a little bit of that mental, emotional haze about worrying about what's going on with my mom, like why can't they figure this out, et cetera. Having that information was super helpful. And I was like, Mom, it's going to be okay. She's like, you really think so? I said, absolutely, it will. It'll be okay. Now we know what needs to happen rather than just kind of shooting in the dark. So that felt really good. And that led to, just the whole intuitive piece where all along, especially as it related to my mom, I was like, something's just not matching up here. Like, why isn't all of these doctor's visits are reaping no information, et cetera, et cetera. There's something there. And so then that conversation I was like, listening to my intuition and knowing that something was malaligned. Also, on a personal note, I had a great conversation with Katie Packwood, Empowered Neurofeedback people. Katie Packwood, shout out to you, boo. She does neurofeedback, and we talked a lot about, unlocking blockages, et cetera. And one of the things that I'm going to experiment with this year as we're getting ready into racing season is to what ability, and we had a great conversation about this, to what degree is my physical and mental emotional performance not happening because I have some blockages in the brain. And we know from an Ayurvedic perspective that the mind and the body are inextricably linked. We can think ourselves sick, et cetera, et cetera. So can I unlock limiting beliefs that I may not even know exist right now to see how that unlocks physical performance? And so, and especially as it pertains to injuries that I've had in the past, like, I'm afraid that my back is going to spaz out before a race, or my hamstring. And rather than doing what I normally do, which is just grit it out, like, just do the thing. Like, what would it be like to really dive deep into that? And so I'm excited to start working with Katie as well. Awesome. So it's going to be cool. That's going to be very interesting. And then I think that unlocks my spirituality. I'm super excited about AWP, fired up about how we're going to get into the spirituality of life.
Yeah.
Which is really very interesting. So, yeah, that's where things are at.
Very cool.
Yay.
Yay.
Yay. So, our topic is non-stealing. And I want to read from Patanjali's Yoga Sutras very briefly. Actually, I don't even need to read it because I wrote it down, but I brought the book with the fancy guy on the front cover, just so you know. And the sutra that this talks about is in Pada 2, Chapter 2, or Book 2, Sutra 37. And the translation from Sanskrit says, "To one established in non-stealing, all wealth comes." And I really thought about this. It's like, when you are not engaging in stealing on all levels, not just physically taking people's things, wealth comes. And how in society we have been inverted in that for our entire existence until now. We have been living in a stealing society that steals our energy, our time, our money, our peace, our love, all of this, and then told that the only way that you gain wealth is by having those things taken away from you. That, because you have to live up to this expectation, or you have to have this image, and you're constantly being funneled and manufactured into something. And I went back to this wisdom and I was like, oh my God, we in society have been doing it wrong. And now that this veil is lifting, now that the big reveal is starting to happen, this is where true wealth comes. And I'm paying attention to a lot of the conversations that are happening in the world right now about how health is the new wealth, how your time is the new wealth, your ability to how to spend your time is the new wealth. And that's really what freedom is. And so I just wanted to float that out there and would love to hear your comments. And then we're going to wrap this into some of these other concepts. So thoughts, or is that just like way too much?
That was a lot.
Okay.
You said, it's interesting when you said time was the new wealth, because I feel like we have a reality out there that there are people who, don't work too hard. Like you want to have your downtime. You got to have, relaxed time. And when you say it like that they've created this reality for us, it kind of makes me wonder if that isn't out there to lull us into a, government just pays us money and we just relax and sit back and don't have to do anything, and AI is going to take over. And so I kind of feel like that's been sort of coming over these last few years. And I think there's some pushback to that with some of these select people that we listen to of, no, you still have to work your ass off.
Yes.
You still have to have skills. You still have to, again, your personal excellence rebels against the system. Yes. So work hard in the gym, work hard, eating well, work hard in your job, like find out new skills, be able to do a lot of different things.
Be resourceful.
And I think that in itself is, you're moving away from that.
Your life being stolen from you. Your life being stolen from you. And it's just, it just struck me because it's like when our time and our energy and even our own understanding of who we are in society is constantly taken away from us because it's being driven by an agenda. And when that happens, of course, we're going to come out bankrupt.
Yeah.
Because we haven't given any time to cultivating our true selves. And so like stealing is just happening around us all the time. I saw this thing on the socials where this guy, I love this, the guy was like so frank. He's just like, does everybody here just feel like the entire country is a scam? Like we're just getting scammed all the time. And one of the most recent things that came up was David protein bars. Did you hear about this?
Oh, yes.
So the David protein bar came out, I don't know, a couple of years ago, and it was like this, oh my God, 150.
So much protein.
Right. It was like, 10,000 grams of protein. No, I'm being totally exaggerating, but it was like something like 25 grams of protein, and it was only 150 calories or something like that. And then it just broke open that they lied about everything. Yeah. And so, and the FDA.
If you ever had one, you'd probably be able to tell.
Yeah. And it tastes like shit, for the record. I'm just going to say, it really does. I had them for like a week, and I'm like, why do I feel bloated so much? But, and apparently like the FDA was involved and knew and just allowed it
for them to get involved.
Right.
In the deception, not a surprise.
No, not at all. Well, and then the kicker of it is that Peter Ateya, Dr. Peter Ateya, who was just recently, he was a longevity expert, and it just came out that he was part of the Epstein files. And so now his career is done, et cetera, et cetera. But like, he was a huge proponent for the David bars. I mean, like his name was behind it, reputation and the whole thing. So like, you just start to see all of this interweaving, and you're like, oh my God, like, our time, our energy, our lives are just constantly being stolen. Like there's just theft around all the time.
And that's why I wanted to bring up, the concept that we talk about is the linear time versus the biological time.
Yes.
Because every second is taken from you no matter what. And that's why I'm so glad that we have you here talking about that today, because death is coming for us all. Time goes by no matter what, whether you're sitting here or whether you're doing something else, but that biological time is how you choose to spend it.
Yes.
And how that time's going to go by and how you're using it to either speed the process up towards death or potentially slow down and make it more worthwhile while you're here. So that was something that I was thinking about with the concept of non-stealing. Like, how many times a day are we literally stealing our own biological time away from ourselves?
Yeah, linear time is going to happen. We're all we're
Can't
all older right now than we were a minute ago, and I think that going back to the most important quote wealth that we have is actually our health, and part of our health is getting good with death. Do you want to talk a little bit about getting good with death? Not to put you on the spot here.
I think so. Thank you for both of you recognizing that I think time takes on a whole new meaning when we're told we have less of it, right? So we just keep this in the West. We just talk about how death is as if it's an option. And I really
I love that.
Feel like hello, like it's coming, right? And so I think that's why my circle is kind of small and intimate, because I think the people that choose to be in my circle and who I choose to participate in a relationship is there's this deeper understanding and this deeper knowing that we have a very limited amount of time on this planet. We can get hit by a car tomorrow, but I do think that when I am actively participating in my life, to me, time really begins to extend. We're kind of in a culture of, I'm so busy. Oh, I'm so busy. And like, I have a girlfriend that I'm trying to connect with. We used to just pick up the phone and call people, right?
Yes.
And now we have to make an appointment to talk to our friends and I think that that's an unfortunate thing, but we do tend to act as if death is an option. And so for me, in the work that I do, it just creates this knowingness that if we can plan and prepare for the inevitable journey that we are all going to take, it really helps to kind of pack in all the important things during the day. My teacher, my doula teacher, who I love, Suzanne B. O'Brien, she talks about, imagine if we lived each day as if it were its own mini lifetime. Like, what a magical place for all of us to be if we just participated in our life daily. And I understand things are challenging and hard, but I do think that if we practice forgiveness, letting go of shit that just doesn't matter anymore. Conversations that I have with my son, oftentimes, when he's faced with an obstacle or a challenge, is this a mountain that you choose to fight on? Is this the mountain you choose to die on? Mm-hmm. And, it really puts into perspective of, am I going to pull out my sword? Sometimes it's like, hell yes, we're going in battle. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes just let it go. And I do feel like as we begin to get more and more comfortable with death, we really begin to look at life with a completely different lens. Really, truly. Did that answer your question?
Oh, yes. and I have so many other things I want to add to that and get your insight on. But the reality is, and from a Vedic perspective, from the second, and this is just reality, linear time versus biological time, from the second that we're born, we're dying.
Yes.
And we focus all of our attention on living without truly understanding that when we don't invite in the idea of death and transition, that we're actually stealing from our life.
Yeah.
Because the two of them, life and death, are two sides of the same coin. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
And the better understanding and practices that we can incorporate into getting familiar and comfortable with death, I think it eliminates a lot of things. And I'll use myself as an example. I started really getting good with death when, you get good with death when you have a near-death experience, And so both of a couple of moons back, I had double pneumonia and it turned into, a cardiac crisis and all of this kind of stuff. And I remember laying in the ambulance and thinking, wow, this could be it. I'm going up, or I hope so. I don't know. Maybe I'm going down. Cool. I get to party with those people. But you get perspective. And after that experience, I remember thinking to myself, okay, not only am I comfortable, or I'm going to get comfortable with death, but I am going to live every single day as fully as possible, doing what it is that I know I am meant to do on this planet. Because I think we steal from our lives with, I'm going to put this off, oh yeah, I'll do that. I'll do that. And we get wrapped into the machine.
When I retire.
Right.
Then I'll have fun.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep. And it fascinates me, going back to our wellness check-in on an energetic level. It fascinates me how, and I this is going to come out really harsh, but you know me.
Let it go.
It's not meant that way. It fascinates me how people who are still in the box of, well, you can do this, but you can't do it now. You got to, save your money. And when you retire, you can do this. And they're in that box mentality, how energetically repulsive that is to me. Mm-hmm. What the fuck are you waiting for? Seriously, people, what the fuck are you waiting for? It's just like you said, death is accompanying life. Do the things it is that you want to do, that you're meant to do. If you are in a situation, in a relationship, in a job, in a social circle that is energetically stealing from you, get the fuck out of it and do the thing it is that you're supposed to do and live your life. Because guess what? In 100 years from now, it doesn't matter. And you are in contact with people on death's door all the time. Has anybody ever said, oh, I wish I stayed at my job with my W-2 tax filing my whole life?
No.
What do they say?
So to be honest with you, I would much rather hang out with people at the end of life than with the living sometimes, because they are my greatest teachers, and they finally get it. You know, they share so many deep, intimate details about, you know, all of these regrets. I wished I would have spent more time with my family. I wished I would have done this thing that I wasn't brave enough to do. I wish that I would have mended these relationships with the people that I love. I remember one woman had a sister that they hadn't spoken in 40 years, and she was at her deathbed, and I said, is there any loose ends you'd like to take care of? And she's like, you know, I haven't talked to my sister in 4 decades. And I said, would you want to call her? And she called her, and they had the best conversation. They couldn't even remember what they were fighting about. And I just think that when we are given an opportunity to look at our own mortality, I do believe that we begin to question our own reality. Like, please, please, please do those things. Do them today. Tomorrow is not promised. And I think that the dying has so much to teach us, but it's not just dying in the physical form, right? There's death of relationships. There's death of a job. There's death of your health. There's all sorts of these small deaths that happen in our lifetime. And I think that ultimately how we react or respond to those big events in our lifetime really help to prepare us for our end-of-life experience. We prepare for the birth of a child, right? We prepare the baby's coming, and we take little effort in the preparation for our death. And I think that if we were to lean in just a little closer and have this understanding that, like, what would that look like if I'm not here tomorrow? It really you really become laser focused of like, I got some stuff I need to do, and you have some things I want to take care of. Like, go on that trip. My son is a firefighter, and he is you know, he is a high risk. He's a wildland firefighter, and I would much rather him. People are like, how can you let your son do this? Or how can you not be worried 24/7? And I think I'd much rather have my son die in something doing that he ultimately loves than die a slow death at a desk job for 40 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, like, you go do you, buddy, and just live your life and do exactly what you want to do. It really helps. The best end-of-life experiences I've seen are people who have have tied up all those loose ends and have really began to find peace. We're not perfect. We're going to have regrets, but really beginning to have peace and being able to mend those relationships and do all the things that we want to do. It's like so many people are like, I'm good. It's the living who has the problem, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Living does have the problem. Dude. Yeah. Praj, why don't you share a little bit about your experience with death with Joe and what that taught you regarding stealing of time?
Yeah. Some of the things that you were mentioning, Christine, showed up in his death. He was very angry, and especially towards the end, very angry that this was happening to him, and would not refuse to see any type of, pastor, any type of, death doula, to help him kind of. He thought there was nothing after death, that it goes black and there's nothing after this. And I just remember thinking that's a very scary way of looking at the world. And I wanted to help, have someone guide him and make him more, or have him have more peace at the end. He also got in a fight with his sister, who's, again, a lovely person, and it was very hard to watch them be in that fight and then never make up. And at the end, he really wanted to, and she did not. And so it was, that was something that probably should never have happened in the first place. And then just was kind of made worse by not making those amends at the end. And that was something that I think really hit him really hard. And I just remember thinking that I don't want to be this way when I pass, and I want to be surrounded by people that I love, and I want to be good with death. I want to feel comforted. I want to feel like, this is a transformation.
Yes.
Not an option, but a transformation, that this is not the end, that just like every other ending, whether it be a relationship, like you said, a job, relationship, that it's a transformation into something else. And when you mentioned that those things are all certain deaths, it clicked transformation, but then I was thinking how you deal with all of those transformations in your life is preparing you for that last, maybe not last transformation of death. And if you just cut it off and don't, deal with any of it, then that's maybe how you then think death should go. Just cut it off and don't. Just put the blinders on and nothing's happening. And with Joe, it was just a firsthand of watching the fear and the anger and the disappointment. And it was a really good lesson for me to not ever want to be in that situation, because that was hard to watch and hard to have someone that you love that just wasn't getting it and just was in this space of, I'm alone. And that was hard.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel alone at the end. And, again, I want to be surrounded by people who I love and be comforted that, I just want to be prepared. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think in that situation, people can teach us so much about dying, what we don't want, and then what we do want, right? So we can take those experiences and transform them into a unique experience for ourselves, and having compassion for Joe, right? Because ultimately, that is a journey that he chose, even not, consciously. He might have just, that might have been just, some experiences that he had even prior, dealing with his own losses, those little things that really begin to inform us on how this experience should go, perhaps, but really honoring and having compassion for yourself of witnessing that I'm sure that was a very painful experience.
It was.
Yeah.
I love this. I love the idea of taking this idea of Asteya, because I think Steya, stealing, and Asteya, non-stealing, I think that we are our own culprits. Yeah. I think that individually we steal from ourselves physically, energetically, mentally, emotionally, intuitively, spiritually, on all of the koshic levels, because we engage in habits that fosters the theft. And one of the things that I'm really excited about that's happening right now, like, of course, we've got things that are happening in the world right now that don't seem positive. I actually believe that they are positive because they are getting us closer to a new understanding and a new awakening about how we have been doing this to ourselves and have been locked into a system that is also doing it to us, or convincing us that this is the way. And I think with our knowledge and our experiences, we're starting to get back to a space that says, in order for me to live, I have to stop stealing life from myself, so ultimately I can get good with death, transition well. And I actually, and I'm curious, I think I know where both of you stand, but I actually feel like the physical death that happens is just a transformation into a different energetic. I think that you don't really die. I think that we actually go back to our soulful self. You know, in Vedic philosophy, the Atman, we go back to the soul. And we really are who it is that we truly are. But I also think that in this life, we've got this great opportunity to be who it is that we truly are as an expression of that soulful self. And that when we do transition, those two things come together. So I'm curious, thoughts?
Well, almost to where would the physical vessel even die if you're completely your soulful self? Would you just, I mean, again, just transform into something else, but you're still there? I mean, I've heard and thought about a couple people talking about we don't really know our full potential, nor are we encouraged to know our full potential. We are distracted beyond end. And that's the point. And that's the point. And I think that's really where we steal ourselves from ourselves, is just the constant distraction. You now have this. Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh, now there's this. Oh my God, that's terrible. Oh, now there's this. Oh my God, that's terrible. And yet we never lock in on how it's maybe all connected, on how, what is the real root of any of it, because we are constantly moved on to the next thing. And it's our lack of being able to focus on it all as if a whole piece, and we are just bounced around from thing to thing to thing to thing, and we allow it to happen. Mm-hmm. Where I think we have that potential to be so much more than what we are. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, brought up so much of like having this awareness of, Einstein's theory of relativity, right? It's like energy exists and it just changes form, right? So that's my belief system now. I didn't know if I fully understood that now, but really we are just these energetic beings that will transition and change form. And so when we release this physical vessel, then we do return to our authentic, pure self. Mm-hmm. I think the point where a lot of people miss is, like, you can have that. It's available now. It's available to you now. And so we become so distracted in looking outside of ourselves to make us feel whole and intact. And
that's the stealing.
And that's the stealing. Like, people are stealing our time and telling us how we should behave, or what, I think I was talking to someone about this non-traditional role that I'm in, right? I was really programmed, like, I'm a nurse. That's where I'm going to retire. It's good security, and all of these identities and labels that we put on ourselves and other people. Really, when we become our own pure, authentic self and come into our divine self, right? But the kicker is having the ability to discern what is your truth may not be the same as my truth, right? Mm-hmm. And so being able to express ourselves as divine human beings and perfect just the way we are, in the AWP, we're infinite, eternal, and whole, perfect right here, right now. And if we can really begin to understand and be an expression of that, then I think the sky's the limit. And I think that what happens for a lot of people that understand The Secret, I remember reading The Secret years ago.
That?
Like, that was very powerful. Like, oh my gosh, could we create our own reality? Can we actually manifest? And that is what has been happening in my life since starting with you, since starting this death doula journey. When we become our own inner authority and our insides begin to match our outsides, anything is possible. And you can't convince me otherwise. And I wish that when people get on my table for Reiki, that they see the perfect, intact, healed person that I already see within themselves. Like, if I could just help to empower each person, like, you have the magic in it. You have the magic. It's our head. It's our analytical brain that tells us, no, girl, you gotta,
slow
not
your
good
roll.
enough, slow it down. It's like, hell no, bring it on. And that is that fire, right? That lighting that fire within, that Shakti effect that I have learned to love and embrace, that it's available to anyone.
Wow. I think we could probably just end the podcast on that. Thank you so much for participating, everybody. It was so fabulous for you to join us. No, that is some powerful stuff. But actually, before we start to, wrap some of this up, I am curious that, can you give us a snapshot of what the death doula does? Because, folks, and you will hear this in AWP nonstop, get good with death. And not like in this face your fears way, but rather realize that it is two sides to the same coin. And once you understand that, there's so much freedom in that, because then you're like, wow, I have the opportunity to live right now, and I'm going to live as fully as possible. What does the death doula do? Because I'm not sure if you're aware, but when I'm on the table, you're the one. Yeah. So you gotta help us transition. So Christine's already written into the health directive.
The team.
But like, what is that experience like? What do you help people do?
I get that question all the time. People are like, what is a death doula? What does a doula do? And, we have been dying as long as we've been entering on this planet, right? So we've been, when we take in what was the statistic? There are every 5 seconds on this planet, someone is taking their last breath. Yes. But there are just as many souls coming onto this planet as although population is starting to decrease. But I do feel like there's just this innate knowing that we know how to die. Like, that's, our bodies know how to shut down naturally. And so a doula, I'm sure, has been around for centuries. There have been doulas in all sorts of different communities. And so a death doula or a death midwife would be the person who has knowledge and experience to help act as a guide. And so we're the non-medical practitioner. Hospice, which is a beautiful model of care, helps support the person with any medical needs. And they do provide chaplaincy and social work and it's a wonderful, beautiful model of care. But when we begin to have to rely on Medicare reimbursement when there is money attached to caring for people, then it has gotten all mucked up. And so
once again, theft.
Another form of theft. Yeah.
Just letting you know.
And I love hospice. I'm so incredibly honored to be to know so many incredible hospice people. Not everybody is called into that space. Kind of like the firefighters that run into the building when there's a fire. Hospice is running into the building in people's most vulnerable and difficult, challenging time.
Absolutely.
And so what a death doula does is help to normalize death. So we're the non-medical holistic practitioner that really acts as a guide supporting a person mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and being able to walk that journey. And so one of the beautiful things that I love doing is just providing education out in the community, like help to normalize this. Why do we prepare for the birth of a child? We're the baby's coming. We know 9 months, the baby's coming, but we take little effort in really preparing for our own death. And same thing with planning for our funeral or, things like that. You can't just, people do it, I'm sure, on occasion, planning a wedding in a weekend. That is really challenging.
It's called Vegas.
Yes.
Sorry.
Or destination weddings or something. But I do think that if we plan and prepare for this journey, it really helps to create for a softer landing. And I do think that a lot of the work is done with the families because depending on who is involved, each person is having their own relationship with their person. And so a lot of the work is done with the family members, helping to support that family caregiver. It's so important. Hospice is not there 24/7. I wish they were, but that's what the doula does, is help to bridge the gap that is so desperately needed. The family caregivers do 98% of the care at home. It's unpaid. Yep. They are, oftentimes the family caregiver will die before their person dies because they have put themselves on the back burner. Talk about stealing, right? It's not intentional. No one wants to be a burden on their family, but the family caregivers are really, truly just withering on the vine because it's 24-hour care, and it is exhausting.
It's hard. My brother is in the middle of that because he's my mom's primary, and my mom's not, in the death transition space, but just, him having to coordinate all the medical stuff when the in-home caregiver needs to take a break because they can't be there 24/7. They have lives too, and so they're on for 2 weeks, they're off for 2 weeks. He has to run interference with all of that. It's a lot.
It is a lot.
It's a lot, and that's really, really hard. Before we do our truth bomb or what lights us up or, the thing that we do at the end, what are you doing in the community with True North? Tell us about your company and how you are assisting this awareness.
Oh, thank you for asking about that. So my little business is called True North Awakening, and I've been slowly building.
Your big business.
Yeah, your big business.
It's
huge.
It has
Manifest.
been a beautiful unfolding of something that I'm so passionate about. And so I love doing community events. So I'm out in the community. I do something called Death Over Tea. And if you happen, I don't know when this will be released, but it's the third Thursday of every month. And it's actually in person at Jump. And I have an amazing speaker this month. Jody Peterson Steigers from the Interfaith Sanctuary will be our guest. And she is creating space for folks who need support they provide the shelter home for people, but people that are medically challenged, have some high medical needs, and then they also have a couple hospice beds for people needing support. And talk about bringing community caring for community. To me, this is the ultimate place of really providing that support. And so I just love going out in the community. I do all sorts of free trainings and opportunities. I train end-of-life doulas, people who are interested in holding space and looking at it from a business perspective, but really just helping to support family caregivers getting good with death. It's my jam.
I love it. And how many death doulas have you trained in the past year that are in the Valley now?
Well, overall, there's 15 end-of-life doulas that were trained under my program. I know that there's other death doulas in the Valley. They've just trained under different programs. Right. There's probably 20 at least of us, at least in the Valley. So I always encourage people, if you're looking for an extra layer of support, end-of-life doulas are really a valuable part of the team. I think one of the things that I find I try to keep my prices within range so that so everyone has access to it. And I think that not everybody can support doula work because it is out of pocket, but I really try to just support people. Sliding scale, I want to be able to support people because everybody deserves an opportunity for this service.
I love that. The other thing that I recently... So Louise Isaacs, I'm coming for you. Louise Isaacs is a gal who does women in money, and I've actually connected with her through BNI, and we are transitioning our life insurance policy to a policy with her because it also gives us living benefits. And so if, say, myself or Michael becomes in a situation that they can no longer work and need care, as part of the life insurance policy, the living benefits provides monies to be able to get that care and support. And those monies could be used in a situation like yours. So I wanted to alert people to that.
That's what I have.
For bonsai?
Yeah. No, that's what I have for myself. I cut life insurance because I was like, who am I going to give it to? But I did keep the life benefits in case I do have a long-term illness. I felt like that was very important to have. Yeah. So
lots of options.
Yeah. So that is something that can be used for services like yours as well. How can people find you?
Thank you for asking. So truenorthawakening.com is my website, and then email truenorthawakening@gmail.com. Thank you.
Folks, if if this is something that really does resonate with you, if you're like, wow, a death doula, like that'd be really very interesting to explore. You do have like that one class that's just like, it's a workshop, right? It's like a 90-minute workshop that I actually took and learned a lot. Even if you're just curious. And then as a next step in terms of a professional life path or something like that, or even if it's something that they want to do to support their family in the situation if and when that time comes, well, not if, when that time comes, then they can take the next step and go through training with you and all that good stuff. So folks, don't let the bastards get you down. Don't allow theft to take away from life. And part of that is choosing the spaces that you're in that nourish you, and also with really understanding the beauty of death, because actually you have such an appreciation for life as a result of that. So, Praj, do we have a truth bomb for today?
We do.
What lights us up?
Yeah. I thought this was pretty fitting with how everything I felt was going to go today with what we had. So, and throughout this whole podcast, I will always remember the Shawshank Redemption and the line, get busy living or get busy dying. Like that just comes up so often for me.
Top 25 movie for me.
Yeah. So good. So the truth bomb for today is hard things reveal people. Some look for exits while others become stronger. And in this process of, getting good with death, like it's hard. So some people look for exits and think of it as an option, while others, it makes them stronger and really makes them go within and figure out, where's my time being stolen?
Yes. I love that. Thank you. All right, folks. Hope you enjoyed this discussion on Asteya, the idea of non-stealing. Ulasini, Christine, we could not be happier to have had you here. This was great. We got to do it again. As part of the Ayurvedic Woman program, Ulasini will be working her magic throughout the year, so you will see her as one of our guest faculty. And if you have any questions, do visit her website, www.truenorthawakening.com.
That's me.
And check her out. And you're on the gram, all the socials, all that stuff. Okay.
Trying. That's a full-time job.
I see you.
She doesn't want her time stolen.
I see you on there.
Yes. So no time stolen on the socials, but you can look up True North Awakening and definitely check it out. So appreciate your time here with us today, everybody. Any other final comments or thoughts or anything we need to address? All right. Don't allow your time to be stolen. Live your life fully. It's good stuff. Jai Bhagwan, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, The Woman Warrior Academy. We are like 13 subscribes away from hitting 300. So if you like our podcast, hit a subscribe, share it with a friend, share it with your pet. They can just put their paw right on the screen and subscribe. But we so appreciate you listening to us. Stay tuned for all the good things. And as always, visit thewomanwarrioracademy.com. And we love you. Jai Bhagwan, everybody. And as always, may your soul be victorious.
Is life hard? Yeah, it's really fucking hard. And you can also have the life it is that you want. You just got to work for it.